2011 to 2017 Honda Odyssey lower control arm ball joint replacement.
And right down here on your control arm is that guy right there. And this one's pretty bad. I can literally move this by hand to get it to click and clunk. Let's see if I can show you that real quick. So she's pretty loose. So first you're going to need to take this cotter pin out here and then take off your
Castle nut.
And that's interesting. That's what I pulled out of there. Some kind of weird two-ended doohickey, but cotter pin will work just fine. You see my kit with this one actually comes with a cotter pin to replace that thing, so regular cotter pin will work. For me today on this one, it was a 3/4 inch. I used this short socket and ratchet combo there to get it loosened, and then my ratcheting 3/4 to get it off after that. And of course I soaked it in PB Blaster prior for a few minutes there. She came off, so now I got to try to get this down, tap around on here with the mini sledge, and hopefully it'll loosen, pull down and out for me, because there's no real room up in here to be hitting anything. So, and I don't know why the heck I said all that, because that's what this guy's for here, ball joint wrench, pickle joint, whatever you want to call it. And then I sprayed some PB down in there to get it down there and let it soak a few minutes, help loosen it up. But you want to tap around on it first anyways. It'll kind of help, you know, break up the rust and whatever that's in there in combination with this PB. I'm probably going to spray it a few times, you know, try and get it loosened up with a few whacks there, PB Blaster down in there, and then I'll use this pickle fork to slide in here and pry on it and separate it. Alright, man, that guy was really stuck in there, so I turned the wheel to give myself more access, and trying to hit down on it with the hammer didn't really work. I'm just hitting it on the end real hard over and over, shoving it in there. Finally popped it free for me there. So if you have the right size to where the fork will push it open by doing so, you know, it'll work. Where the heck is my other one? There it is. So these are two different sizes. This one's too small to even fit around it. So there are different sizes, and that one worked just hammering in like it stopped, but I just kept beating on it real hard with the mini sledge, and it finally popped her out of there. But now we got to get it out of there, which is where this tool is going to come in. I'm going to show you here. And this whole thing's in the way here. There's no way for me to get that tool up in there, so I'm going to disconnect from the outer tie rod here. Same thing with cotter pin and the nut. And I might have to disconnect one end of the sway bar link here. That way I can kind of just swing this whole thing out of the way, get my tool up in there. Now on these regular style cotter pins here, you unbend them, press them together as good as you can. Start tapping them through. They're going to try to do that crap on you. Stick, you know, pick down in here, something to pry on it. Hammer a real small Phillips screwdriver in there and pry until you get it going. And they're probably going to break on you. And then once they break, I'll use like a little Allen wrench like this or something to shove in there and tap them through. Sometimes you have to wiggle them back and forth just to snap them off. That way you can get something in those holes to push your remaining pieces out. Okay, then that one here for me today was a 17 millimeter. You're gonna want to use a real good impact, blast that off, otherwise your joint down in there and spin. So alternatively, if you have that issue, you could just take the whole control arm here off, you know, bolts here and there, and drop the whole control arm if you have a bench to work on it, or if you want to take it to a machine shop and have them press this out and press in the new one. But I blasted that off.
Also, you can put a jack under that and just jack up on it, put pressure on the bottom, and then it might hold it in place to keep it from spinning, so you can get that nut off.
Gonna reset it here flush with the top of the shaft, which I'm not there yet. It's a little rusty, and that way I can hammer that down, get it loose, then I'll take this back off and pull it out, and then hopefully be able to swing the spindle and strut out of the way. Okay, now you can see it's separated there, and whole thing's loose there, so I can now push it out of the way and get my tool up in there to press that out. All right, here's our toolkit here. Now you can rent these at the local auto parts stores. Some of them will rent them out to you, which is what I've done here. I'll put a link up in the description to some of these kits. You know, they start as cheap as like $50, and this one here is like 260, 270, but it comes with all these different size cups, so it'll do a wide range of vehicles. You know, you buy the cheap $50 one that only has one size or two sizes, it might not work on whatever vehicle you're trying to do. So also I've seen where some of the cheap ones, some people are having them bend, so there's that too. The cheap ones aren't as strong as the higher end ones, so I'll put a link in the description to at least one cheap one and then one good one that I would recommend if you actually want to, you know, buy your own set. That way you have it, which is what I typically do. I buy tools whenever I need them, but I just didn't have $270 to drop today, so I just rented this set. But this is what you're dealing with here. It works very similar to a C-clamp, but you just have these different cups here. And then I don't even know what you call these, washers, whatever. You got to find the right combination that's going to go over and work with your particular unit to push it out. And then you kind of flip-flop it on the way back in. And you can sometimes utilize large sockets to help you out too, especially if you got one of the cheap ones that doesn't have what you need. The right size socket might work for you. And that's basically how you'll have it set up there. You got to find the right combination of cups and pushers and all that. So I found what I believe is the right combination. I'll just turn this with a wrench and it'll press it into this cup here. And that didn't seem to be working, so now I'm trying this. I got a little short catch cup here. I might not let it drop all the way out, but and I anticipate this pivoting and shooting. I think that's supposed to be used with a cup. Potentially, I don't know, but no other combination seems to be working, so I got to try this now. Alright, and then that combination worked for me. I had to keep it straight and all that. Put this nut back on here for a little more height and all that, and help keep it straight while it was up in here. And you see it's, you know, it's pushing out, so it's a work in progress. So I got it as far as I could with that little cup. So now I'm going to try some other combination. Now that I got it going, it'll be a lot easier to get it out. It took a lot of torque. I was using this big, mine's a 22 up here, this with like just about all the strength I had in two arms, close to it, and it finally popped free. And then once it popped, it was, you know, it immediately got way easier. I've seen where people hook up impact guns on these, and you might have to do that, or, you know, use a socket and a breaker bar, something longer, cheater pipe, whatever. But it takes a lot of force to get that to pop free, which if I wasn't just using a regular length wrench here, it wouldn't have taken nearly as much force. I'm not giving myself much leverage here. Okay, so there she is there. And if you have any corrosion and stuff in here, you want to clean that up, but ours looks pretty good. I'm just going to wipe it down. Maybe a light coating of grease or something to help the new one slide in. So it's basically the same process to put the new one in, you know, just kind of reverse. So okay, so you can see there I got the new one started. This is really a pain. I kind of reused this as a jack to press it up against the control arm, against the tie rod there, not tie rod, sway bar and sway bar link, to hold that nice and firm for me. The best way I found, so this is a really tight fit. It drags going in, so it's almost like it's slightly larger than the hole. So the best way I found was to, once this was supported up so it's not flopping on me, pull up on the threads like this, and bend down with my head to look to make sure it's set about as evenly as I can get. And I use the side like this to tap it while pulling up and get it started. Then once I got it started, I kind of tapped around to make sure it was going in as straight as possible all the way around. It started about 1 millimeter or 2, so now it's held in place and nice and straight, and now I can reuse the tool at this point, now that I got it hand started, to drive it back in. I also wedged this up in there because I got tired of this thing hitting me in the hand and being in the way. Okay, I got it mostly driven in with that combination, but I've gone as far as I can, so I'm going to pop it open and see what else I can use to get it the rest of the way up in there. And once you get so far, you might be able to just use the nut on the top to draw it the rest of the way in, but I'm not really sure, you know, since it's a ball and socket, it might spin on you.
As you can see, if I can get a focus, we're pretty much all, you know, we only got a few millimeters left. I just need to make this lip here touch the bottom of the control arm, and it's fully installed.
And this one here might have worked the entire time. I don't have anything on the bottom. It fits nice, and just this real tall I keep trying to say cup that it's not going to bottom out in. So now I'm pushing from the top like when we originally pushed it out, but it's drawing the bottom up, you know, geometry, physics, but it's going to pull it up in that cup the rest of the way for me. Now, I ran into a little problem here. These new ones, the original ones don't have it, so I don't think it's necessary, honestly, at least not with it being a lower control arm like this and the weight of the car being on it and all that. I'm finding somewhat mixed reviews, but I haven't found a definitive thing saying, yes, you absolutely have to have it in there. Obviously, the factory ones did not have it. I'm trying to call it a C-clip, but it's actually a snap ring. Because once you bolt it down on this, I don't think that rides all the way down. Like basically without the snap ring, it might let the joint move up and down in the control arm here without the snap ring. I don't really think that would happen unless you were like ramping the car or something. And then like I said, the factory unit doesn't even have it, so I don't personally think it's necessary at all, but I want to put them in just in case. But I ran into an issue because somehow when I was pressing this through, you can see there that lip, your snap ring will go under that lip, but you can see here it's like pressed down, so somehow it caught going in. So I'm gonna have to run a flathead screwdriver through there, just tap it lightly all the way. It's just on this front part here where I got bent down. Run a flathead under there, tap it across to bend that lip back up so I can get that snap ring back in place. And even if this lip breaks off here, you still got the ring that goes all the way around that lip, so it's not going to let it come out or anything.
And there's the snap ring.
Now this one particularly, it's got a little plug on the bottom. You can see all that blue grease there, so they have greased it. But I have to put in this fitting, and they leave the fitting out so while you're driving it in there with all that contraption, you don't bust off the fitting. So now that I have it fully installed, I just got to install my fitting there, and like I said, you can see there it's already got the blue grease in it, so it's pre-greased, but I got to put the fitting in. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I gotta pull my block of wood out, and I'm gonna have to press down on the control arm far enough to get it into the bottom of the spindle. These are stiff when new. I've already moved it around a few times, but you pivot it however you need to get it lined up in there. Reconnect my tie rod, put the new cotter pins in each, you know, once I get it tightened down, and then that's it. But there she is, boys. You see the new cotter pins? That's it. I just gotta throw my wheel back on here. If this video helped you out, leave me a like. Again, looking for the tools or the parts, I'll link what I can in the description. But thanks for stopping by, and I hope to catch you on the next one.